Hello, today I'm looking at Majjhima Nikaya number 2, which is called the Sabbasava Sutta. I have had quite a bit of trouble trying to get a full understanding of this sutta. It's not particularly long, but it is quite involved, and to assist me in understanding it, I've actually looked at the translations by Bhikkhu Bodhi and Nanamoli, the translation by Thanissaro, and the translation by the Burmese Pitaka Association. It's just that in different translations, sometimes the words used or the translations they've used tend to mean more to me than in the others. So, for example, the Bhikkhu Bodhi translation has the title as being All the Taints, T-A-I-N-T-S. The Thanissaro translation has the title as All the Fermentations, and the Burmese Pitaka Association have left it as being All Asavas, i.e. untranslated the word asava. So, taints and fermentations aren't words in my vocabulary particularly, and in the Bhikkhu Bodhi audio commentary that he's done, he does say the word asava is linked to, say, like in the flow of a river, the flowing, and perhaps it could be translated as influence. So it's a sutta on all the influences, and probably bad influences. So in taking that meaning, it did make a bit clearer to me what the sutta was about. And I think in summary, what the message here is, for someone who knows and understands the sutta, the Dharma, the Dhamma, new bad influences do not arise, and old influences, bad influences, are abandoned. And the sutta then lists what traits can be used to help abandon these influences. And the first one that seems to be the most important is abandonment by seeing. And again, there's quite a bit of discussion by Bhikkhu Bodhi on the word seeing, which in Pali is dasana, which means sight or intuition or insight. So although it's translated as seeing, it may in fact mean more clear sight of the Dhamma, so insight. So having clear sight leads to abandonment of the sense pleasures, that's touch, smell, taste, so on and so forth. Abandonment of craving, the craving for continued existence, and this one is illustrated when the sutta goes on to look at comparing, I suppose, philosophies that are around at the same time as the start of Buddhism. The idea of eternalism and of nihilism and so on and so forth. So really it's trying to just explain that through insight the craving for continued existence disappears, and of course with clear insight the abandonment of ignorance of the Dharma happens. And in summary, at the end of this particular section, it states that by following the Four Noble Truths, 3 fetters are abandoned. That's the fetter of personality view, which is the illusion of self, doubt of the Dharma, or the Dhamma, and the other fetter that's abandoned is adherence to rites and rituals. And again, Bhikkhu Bodhi explains that as being the contemporary belief systems where performing certain actions would help with continuation of life, or so on and so forth. That fetter will also be abandoned. The sutta then goes on just to list other things that can be done to achieve abandonment of influences. And the first one, the second one in order, is the restraint of the sense faculties. The faculties being the eye faculty, the ear faculty, the nose faculty, the tongue faculty. So it could be, say, like limiting one's delight at seeing nice things, enjoying nice things and such like. The second one, the next one, the third in the list, is the proper use of requisites, and this is more probably talking to the monks and nuns, that proper use of the person's robes, proper use of the resting place, proper use of alms food, and proper use of medicines. So apparently those are the 4 requisites of being a monk: robes, resting place, alms food and medicines. And again, they should all be done or used in moderation. As again, the delightful aside that Bhikkhu Bodhi has in his commentary is about on the robes, accept the robe as just being a piece of clothing, not, I like the purple one, I want the purple one, so on and so forth, or the one that's a nice, got a gold sheen to it or whatever. So it's just restraint or proper use of the requisites. The next one is forbearance, by putting up with heat, thirst, hunger, bodily pain. One can avoid bad influences. And the next one is actual avoidance, avoid unnecessary dangers, associating with evil people and bad influences that wise. The next one is rejection or destruction, rejection of any influences that do arise, and abandon them, reject them. So it's not saying all of a sudden all these influences stop, but be in a position that when they do arise, be aware of them and you can abandon them. And such things as sensual thoughts, malice, the thought of injuring others, and so on and so forth. When they do arise, it's arisen, abandon it, move on. And the last one that's mentioned is, on a positive note, is development of the 7 factors of enlightenment will assist in losing the bad influences, or the influences. And as a reminder, the 7 factors that are listed are mindfulness, investigation of the Dhamma, energy, joy, tranquility, concentration and equanimity. So that about sums up the Majjhima Nikaya number 2, Sabbasava Sutta. I hope that helps with your understanding. Thanks very much. Cheers.